Hey there, my name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life. During our trip to New England, we visited 5 iconic lighthouses on Maine's beautiful rugged coastline. In this video, I'm going to share what we learned about these famous lighthouses with you. And let me begin by saying how grateful we are for how well we were treated during our visit. The people were so friendly and welcoming. Now, if you're from Maine, or maybe you visit coastal New England often, we're counting on you to help us out in this video. Let us know if we get anything wrong in the comments. In fact, we would love to hear the local perspective about these lighthouses or the area. As always, I've left links in the description. There is some amazing scenery in this video, so be sure to watch until the very end. Now go ahead and click the like button and let's get started. Our first stop is Rockland, Maine, the lobster capital of the world. This coastal city is renowned for its long history of lobster fishing and its thriving lobster industry. While there are other places that claim to be lobster capitals, Rockland's deep connection to the lobster industry solidifies its reputation as the real lobster capital. Every summer, Rockland celebrates its lobster fishing heritage during its Maine Lobster Festival. As great as this sounds, especially if you like lobster as much as I do, Rockland is a lot more than lobster. Rockland has a working harbor, which means the waterfront area is actively used for commercial and industrial purposes, not just tourism. So about 100 years ago, Rockland needed a special kind of lighthouse. The Rockland Breakwater Lighthouse was built in 1902. This lighthouse is located at the end of a nearly mile-long granite breakwater in Rockland, Maine. For landlocked folks like me, a breakwater is a structure built along coastlines, harbors, or nearshore waters to protect an area from the force of waves and prevent coastal erosion. Simply stated, a breakwater deflects the energy of incoming waves. To visit this lighthouse, you have to walk along the breakwater, and the walk is a fascinating experience. I admit I had some doubts, but once we started walking, it was a lot of fun. The breakwater is composed of thousands of large granite blocks stretching 4,364 feet out into the harbor. That's walking for almost a mile while feeling like I'm the guy from Temple Run. But on a clear day, the walk offers sweeping views of Pemaquid Bay, distant islands, amazing boats, and the surrounding Maine coastline. The journey across the breakwater is usually tranquil, but when the winds are strong, walking the breakwater can be an adventure. Seriously, this is a great activity when you're visiting. Even if you're not into lighthouses, the walk is a lot of fun. Tours of the Keeper's House were not available during our visit, but I've left links in the description so you can plan your visit. When people think about New England, they probably think about autumn foliage, historical places, distinct seasons, colonial architecture, and natural landscapes like the Green Mountains of Vermont and the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And of course, people think of charming coastal towns. Bristol embodies the essence of Maine and the heart of coastal New England. Bristol has a delightful blend of historic landmarks, vibrant working harbors, and stunning natural landscapes. It's not surprising that one of the most iconic and one of the most photographed lighthouses in New England is right here in Bristol. Pemaquid Point Lighthouse is situated at the tip of the Pemaquid Peninsula. It offers stunning views of the Atlantic Ocean, and it goes without saying it's a popular destination for tourists, photographers, and maritime history enthusiasts. It's located at the entrance of Muscongas Bay in Bristol. People visit for its picturesque setting against the rugged coastline of jagged, layered rocks. It was commissioned in 1827 by U.S. President John Quincy Adams, the son of another U.S. president and one of America's founding fathers, President John Adams. The lighthouse had to be rebuilt in 1835, and the Keeper's House was built a little more than 2 decades later. In 1934, the Pemaquid Lighthouse became one of the first lighthouses in Maine to be automated, meaning a keeper was no longer needed. It has survived many dangerous storms, and it's had a lot of work done over the years, and countless volunteers who make sure we can still visit this lighthouse in the future. The Pemaquid Point Lighthouse stands at 38 feet tall, and its light has a focal plane elevation of about 79 feet above sea level. This ensures that ships can see the light from several miles away. The light emitted from Pemaquid Point Lighthouse produces a white flash every 6 seconds, a specific pattern that helps sailors identify their location along the coastline. This was one of many favorite moments while visiting New England, walking along this rugged shoreline and looking back at that old lighthouse. I love it here, and you will too. Established in 1791, Portland Head Lighthouse is the oldest lighthouse in Maine and one of the first commissioned by George Washington. Located in Cape Elizabeth, Portland Head Light is an iconic landmark situated on the stunning shores of Fort Williams. This lighthouse was built to help guide ships safely into the harbor of Portland. The lighthouse stands 80 feet tall and features a distinctive white tower with a red roof and black lantern. Its classic design is a representation of early American lighthouse architecture. The lighthouse emits a white light that can be seen up to 24 nautical miles away. This light flashes every 10 seconds. The keeper's house is now a museum that showcases the history of the lighthouse and the region. The lighthouse tower is open to the public only once a year, and I bet that line is very long. After all, 1 million people visit Portland Head Light here at Fort Williams every year. Portland, Maine is a happening, fast-paced city, and that's the vibe while visiting Portland's very famous, very popular lighthouse. There's no admission fee to see the historic landmark. There is a small fee for the museum, and you do have to pay to park. Links in the description. Earlier, I said that Pemaquid Lighthouse is one of the most photographed lighthouses in the world. Portland Head Lighthouse is also one of the most photographed lighthouses in the world. Did you know that there are privately owned lighthouses? While visiting Portland Head Lighthouse, we could also see Ram Island Ledge Light. We didn't have a boat during our visit, so we had to admire from afar and with a zoom. Built in 1905 to mark the dangerous ledges of Ram Island Ledge Light is another historic lighthouse located off the coast of Cape Elizabeth, Maine, near the entrance to Casco Bay and close to Portland Head Lighthouse. In case you're wondering, coastal ledges are rock formations that extend out from the coastline into the ocean. They're a serious hazard to boats and ships. Coastal ledges can be found along rocky coastlines, the kind of coastlines here in Maine. The construction of the Ram Island Ledge Lighthouse was due to the sinking of 3 fishing vessels in this location in a short amount of time, with ledges being the cause. The 1960s and 70s weren't too kind to Ram Island Ledge Light. No sooner than the keeper was removed and the light automated, a lens was stolen and the tower was vandalized. Restoration efforts followed, but it was determined that the Coast Guard no longer needed the lighthouse. The property had initially been made available at no charge to other government agencies, educational institutions, and nonprofit organizations, but no interest was shown, so bids were open to the public. A local doctor purchased the property for $190,000. Imagine owning your own private lighthouse. I'm not even sure I would know what to do with my own lighthouse. Until our New England tour and trip along Maine's coast, I had no idea that there was more than one kind of lighthouse. Not too far from these lighthouses is Spring Point Ledge Light. This is an example of a caisson lighthouse. It's also known as the spark plug lighthouse because of how it looks. A spark plug lighthouse is a lighthouse whose superstructure rests on a concrete or metal caisson. Sometimes the caisson design is more efficient as it can better withstand harsh weather and it's not as fragile. Located in South Portland, Maine, adjacent to the campus of Southern Maine Community College, it marks a dangerous obstruction on the west side of the shipping channel into Portland Harbor. Caisson lighthouses usually have a living quarters made of cast iron, although some brick examples are known. Like everything else during the 1930s, this spark plug lighthouse was electrified. The breakwater we're using to get closer to the lighthouse wasn't constructed until 1951. It's 900 feet long and made from 45 tons of granite. Spring Point Ledge Light was automated in 1960. In 1999, there was a transfer of ownership of the tower to the Spring Point Ledge Light Trust. It was opened up to the public for the first time that same year. This is another popular lighthouse here in Portland, and it's accessible and free to visit. Lighthouses were once critical for maritime navigation, but they're no longer as essential as they once were thanks to advanced electronic navigation systems. These tools provide real-time location data and warnings for ships, making traditional lighthouses less relevant for guiding vessels. However, lighthouses still serve a role. In some areas, particularly those with poor satellite coverage or unpredictable weather, lighthouses can still offer practical benefits. These days, lighthouses serve a cultural or historical value. There are 67 lighthouses in Maine, and they all tell a very special story. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll click the like and subscribe button. Here are some other videos I know you'll enjoy. My name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life.